All right. We're not going to go through all the credits and stuff again.
Mm. All right. Take
And
two.
anybody watching? Whoop, one person.
Yeah, that's probably me. Okay.
Take two.
That's me. Brian.
Hey,
Brian's
Brian.
back. Brian, how do
Sorry
we
about
look?
all the problems, dude. Okay.
Ask him.
Um,
See how we look.
with all the problems that we've had tonight, and I really apologize.
Looks better. Okay.
Yeah, well, basically what I ended up doing was it was set to record and stream at 60 frames a second. So I just reduced that back down to 30 frames a second, and it's really brought everything down. And it's looking like it's a lot more stable.
All right.
Okay,
There we go.
so
we're back.
We're gonna go ahead and open the phone lines. So if you would like to, we got to try it. If you'd like to talk to us, all you got to do is dial 701 801
Slower.
4367 701
70. Yep.
801
Yep.
4367
4367. Option 5.
just 5. It says here just dial 5. So
Okay.
if you'd like to talk to us, so far what we talked about very briefly because the quality was just such crap. We talked about Apple being worth over $900 billion. We talked about Apple's...
Doomed, Brian. Doomed.
Okay. We talked about Apple's facial recognition on iPads.
It's coming. Yeah.
Something that a lot of people will probably be happy to hear about, and something that will eventually end up being a topic to talk about on the show is backup strategies. And both Bombitch Software's Carbon Copy Cloner and ShirtPocket Super Duper is now updated for High Sierra. So if you're running the latest Macintosh operating system, both of those excellent backup solutions will work again.
Awesome.
Now this, everybody knows that Apple is starting to get into the content creation game with video. And one of the things that I was reading today is that there's a project by Jennifer Aniston from Friends, Reese Witherspoon from, so many different motion pictures, and they're going to do a drama that's based on a morning show, and they're going to do it for Apple. And the other thing I've heard is that rapper Drake is reportedly interested in doing some video projects, and Apple is basically giving him the green light to do whatever it is he wants to do. So, still waiting on that first call. Yeah, 1701 801 4367 hit 5.
And this is from any phone?
Any phone. You can do it from a smartphone. If you go to xenolive.com, you should be able to find me. G-Tech Podcast, I believe, will do it.
According to Marcus, you need to have a Chrome browser to do so.
Yes.
On that part, because it's a Chrome extension.
Okay. But you can also, you can just dial it right into your smartphone, too, and it'll work there.
What about a landline phone?
I don't see why it wouldn't work there, too.
What about like a rotary dial phone?
Sure. Just get a couple sticks and a couple of drums and just beat on the drums. Make sure that you dial 1701 801 4367, hit 5, and you should be good to go. So while we're waiting...
Marcus is back. Okay, good. Marcus is going to call.
Okay.
So Jennifer Aniston, she could do no wrong. She's I used to watch
well, it seems that way.
Whatever she does, I'm watching, so I'm good with that. Reese Witherspoon is okay, but I like Reese without a spoon.
Yeah, I saw. Did you see that meme?
Oh yeah.
That was so funny.
It's the same one with the flash and no flash in the background. Yeah,
Yeah,
sure,
yeah,
yeah.
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 There was a whole bunch. Um,
So, and I don't know who Drake is. I think it's some guy. Yes.
Drake is the guy that was wearing that really
The
cool
jacket.
retro
Yeah.
jacket,
Yeah.
and I'm
Yeah.
still trying. I can't buy one of those jackets. I would if I could, and it was reasonably priced. Um,
Mm.
I can get jackets that kind of look like it, but doesn't have the Apple logo, and then I just have to have somebody like embroider the Apple logo on it.
Yeah. And then you'll, be sued by Apple for some kind of
Well,
trade
no, because
infringement. Yeah.
it's not like I'm going to sell it. As long as you're not trying to make a buck off of it, there's really not much Apple can do. You
Right.
know,
Right.
if they were going to be upset, they'd probably be more upset about this live cast than they would be about me making a jacket that has their logo on it. But
We
speaking
will.
of money,
Yes.
Apple Pay Cash is supposed to be available if you're running the iOS 11.2 update. I
It
have
is.
that, but I am not on a current phone. My phone is pretty old.
So this
So
is what it looks like if anybody cares.
wait, hold
Okay.
on. Let me.
I'm going to show you what Apple Pay Cash kind of looks like. I don't know if you can see it. All right. Okay. So here's the screen. Okay. And then there's this little icon down there that says pay. And you hit this. And then it comes up with a little thing that says pay. And this one says they're all going to say cannot receive payments at this address because I don't know anybody else who's running the beta um, that I could send money to. But that's how it does it. You go into Messenger.
Shoot it
There's
to
a
me.
little.
Excuse me.
You,
Yeah, got it.
it will get here faster than when you tried to pay me for the Mac. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah,
That
sorry
one.
about that.
Yeah, yeah,
It
yeah.
wasn't from a lack of trying.
Yeah, yeah. But anyways, yeah. So you do that icon on the bottom, Apple Pay, and there's a fake card, more or less, where it puts the money to. I guess it's like an Apple credit card that it
Right.
puts it to there, and then you can deal with it from
Well,
there.
that's probably going to be the next step. You know, I can easily see Apple like creating their own bank. They certainly have enough capital to back it. Um, I don't have it here in the show notes, but it came up on the page, and I've seen it. I've seen a lot of people talking about it, and this would be something people could call in about. What's your opinion on Apple's so-called tax avoidance? You know, where they're taking all their profits and moving it around to different jurisdictions that will allow them to not pay super high taxes on it. And what do you think about that?
Yeah, and so I mean, I know very little about the laws, but they have $900 billion. They have like full time, lawyers and
Sure,
accounting people working for them that they could just, call up for meetings, and talk to whenever they want. They don't have to pay for them. I'm making the assumption that they are smart enough to do what they need to do not to get in trouble of what they're doing, and smart enough to pay the least amount of money they have to pay to governments and countries as possible.
sure,
So it becomes less of a legal question and more of an ethical question, I think, is what happens. And the question is, um, when I lived in London, and Starbucks was just kind of starting the first time I moved there and lived in London.
hmm
Um, the British people hated Starbucks because at that point they were doing the same thing. They had some kind of thing where they were avoiding paying taxes to England somehow, and they were moving money around like that. And then, again, it becomes an ethical question. Do these rich companies, you know, is it is it I guess mean to the government to not pay the taxes if they're not breaking any laws? And I guess it depends how you feel about it. Um, if they can do it and they're not breaking any laws, then I don't have a problem with it. Personally, I don't have a problem with it. If they're breaking the laws and they get caught, then I don't have a problem with that either. They'll pay the fine if they have to pay the fine.
Well,
Um,
part of Tim Cook's job is to, and yeah, I know a lot of people probably don't care, but part of his job is also to provide value for shareholders. And if he just went ahead, when he had other options, if he just went ahead and paid in full uh, taxes in all of these countries that he could avoid paying, he wouldn't be CEO very long, because that's kind of what part of his job is to bring as much value to the company as they possibly can.
right. But again, they need, they could obviously afford to pay taxes to whatever country they're going to. It's not a question of whether they can afford to or not. But again, if there's a way for them to not pay as much, and they have smart people working for them that could figure out how to do that, they would be stupid not to do it if it's if it's legal. I
Well,
mean,
it
I don't
is
want.
legal, and again, all of this has to be legal and above the board, because any company that gets caught doing something that is illegal in the long run is going to end up paying more money than they
Sure.
would have if they just went ahead and did whatever it was they were going to do legally. I mean, that's
Right.
really how it works.
And Marcus just brought up Trump, but I was going to bring up Trump again before that. When he became president, or when he was running, and basically people said he didn't pay a lot of taxes. They found out that he legally did not pay for taxes, and he said, it makes me smart.
It does
I
in that
agree with that.
particular
I
case.
you know I mean, Apple gives plenty of money to charities. That's what they would do. Apple would rather give $1 billion right now to a charity than the United States government,
Yeah. Well,
because that's what.
I was talking about this with somebody else. I mean, as far as repatriating profits from worldwide operations back into the United States for a United States company, part of this is that the United States tax code, when you really look at it, is very old, and it hasn't really been updated, not so much for the age of the internet, but for the age of worldwide
Commerce,
conglomerates.
commerce. Yeah, yeah.
So, I mean, one way to do it would be, okay, right now, essentially, the tax burden on any profits that Apple generates, if you include both local and, um, I'm sorry, state and federal taxes, is around 40%. I think the figure I saw was 39.1%. Well, what if instead of saying, any money that you make is 39.1%, split that into to do two different piles. One pile is the profits that are generated within the United States, and for the most part, I believe they're paying taxes on those here. The second part would be profits that they're bringing back from all of their worldwide constituent sales, bring that back into the United States and say tax that only at like 10%. And yeah, is 10% much less than around 40%? Certainly. But what's 40% of zero? So, you can either get something, less than you might have expected at one rate, or just get nothing at all. And if you
When go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, go ahead.
Uh, when there's a company out there and it's desirable, and they want to put their product in other countries, other than the country they started in, um, the country that's going to accept their product gets excited for creation of jobs and taxes. That's
Sure.
why they want that's why they want the company to be able to sell or provide um, brick and mortar stores in their country. That's part of the deal, and that's when they you know companies are going to basically continue to fight for as much money out of these companies as they can. It is a company's job to figure out ways to put somewhat of the brakes on it because they will get as much as they can.
Of course.
Yeah.
I mean, Germany, I just saw another article. Germany was talking about that they only got 0.2% of Apple's, and I don't know why they compared it this way, of Apple's total profits worldwide. And when I saw that, I was kind of like, well, why are you even worrying about what Apple's worldwide sales are, in comparison to how much you think you should be making in taxes? It makes no sense. Don't even worry about what Apple's doing in, the Middle East or Africa or Asia or any place like that. Worry about what Apple is selling in Germany. And, if you can get them to pay you more in taxes based on German sales, then fine. I don't have a problem with that. And if your legislators change their laws so that they get more taxes from Apple, well then have them do that. I mean, remember when it really comes down when it comes down to it. Damn, this echo in my ear is making me sound drunk. Um, Apple plays by the rules that your legislators set up. So the tax laws of whatever country you live in, those are the laws that Apple has to deal with. And they're working within the framework of those laws. And if you or your government or your legislators or whoever think that Apple isn't paying you enough, change the friggin' law. I mean, Apple is going to do what they're going to do. By the way, you can still call us. Lines are open at 1-701-801-4367. I know Brian tried to call us earlier. Yeah,
What
40.
happened?
Marcus 40 says 40% of 0 equals 0.
This is true.
Yeah. So
And he also,
somebody, I mean, we really need to try this out. Somebody please call that number. It's 1-701-801-4367. Then hit 5. And let's see if we're able to. Brian says he tried it and it didn't work.
Marcus is spamming our group.
Marcus, please
Spam.
try to call us.
Spam.
We have two. Well, it shows that there's two listeners.
Well, Ed was on. Ed, you call us.
No, I mean there's two listeners over in Xeno Live.
Oh, I don't know what that means. Okay.
And I'm guessing that they can hear us there.
Mm.
Spam, spam, spam.
Marcus is spamming.
Yes, yes, Marcus. Dial the number and then 5 after it connects. And let's see what happens.
Dun, dun, dun.
I
hear
did
guy
this
gets
the other
naked.
night with Brian and one of my nieces, and I was stunned that it worked as well as it did. And now it's not working. I don't know why. Callers on air is set to allow. Monitor is on. Yep, I can hear
Brian
you.
says,
Press 5 got the bing, and it must be a problem on their side. Sugar.
damn it. I mean,
You know what I'm going to do?
Josh is on the phone. With us? No.
I am going to dial it myself. I'm going to call my own show.
I mean, I could grab a phone, but it's all the way over there.
No, that's fine. 1-701-801-4367.
Josh, push 5 now. Click on 5. Just hit 5. Just hit 5.
Okay.
Is it like a group chat line? Like a bunch of people at once could come on?
I don't know.
Yeah. It's like a
Okay. So now
sex
it's trying to connect. I
sex
can
bot
hear
line.
myself. So how do I?
Josh could hear us, but nobody could hear us.
One,
What?
two, 1, 2. See, it's coming up here on the phone, and it's showing that there's listeners,
Yeah, but they can't talk.
but well, it's not. What's happening is listeners requesting call in. How do I let them do that? Is there something that they're supposed to do? Everything looks like the way it's supposed to look.
Well, say something. Josh and Marcus, talk. Maybe we'll hear you. Say hello. No, we don't hear them.
No, everything looks like the way it's supposed to.
Yeah, we can't hear.
But here we go.
What?
Hello. Oh, that might be me. Maybe it just took a minute.
Oh, wait.
1, 2.
Somebody just said something.
1, 2.
Hello?
Yeah, who's that? We have a caller.
That's me. Brian?
Oh, hey, Brian.
Brian,
Hey, you finally got it working.
how'd you
Well,
do it?
Second time.
I think it was just really a matter of waiting for Xeno Live to get up off their ass.
That
There's
sounds
somebody
like the
else here.
case. I shake my angry fits at Xeno Live today.
Well, you
It was
sound
working
great.
good the other day.
Brian, how you doing, man? We got.
Hey there, doing
So-
good, Warren. Nice to talk to you.
Yeah, nice talking to you too.
Yeah.
So, wait? Can you get more than one person on at the same time?
Yes. I
Yeah,
actually
yes,
had
definitely, 'cause-
2 people on the other day.
There's some lady with a niece or something like that.
Yeah, it was my
nephew or
niece,
something
one
like
of my nieces.
So
that.
who
Yeah,
else
it
should
was
be
on
on?
the other night.
So Marcus and Josh are somehow
Well, we
trapped
have
in the
6.
queue.
It shows 6 current listeners. How did you request to call in, Brian?
I did the thing and I pressed 5. It basically been pressing a couple of times on my thing, and eventually it must have got on the queue. Basically,
Keep
correctly.
keep
No, it's
going
weird.
5. What? Who's that?
No, that's
Hello?
still Brian.
That's Brian.
It's me. Yeah.
Okay. Well, there's 6 people currently listening through Xeno Live.
7. Well, 7 I see right now live on Facebook, according to Facebook, but your video stopped, so
The video stopped?
whatever.
No, it's still
On
showing
Facebook.
live here.
I hear the,
Technology. Ah!
Well,
Yeah.
Brian, tell me, what do you think about Apple and taxes?
okay, yeah, I want to talk about the taxes thing, anyways.
Sure.
Yeah, basically, I think Apple should do exactly what the other companies are doing. The government, in general, is greedy. Basically, they try to pretend virtuous and they're not. Okay, and these people feel like there's a moral obligation to pay, based upon the idea that somehow it's like some greater obligation and everything else. But the thing is, exactly, here's the thing. Okay.
Wait, hold on. We got another person
Apple-
trying to call in here. I'm going to bring
Apple-
him on
okay,
just because I can. Hold on.
Hold your thought.
Okay.
No, Marcus, I'm going.
All right, who else is on?
I don't know.
Area code 828.
Yeah, that's me. Say my area code is 828.
Okay,
Copy
who
that.
are you, sir?
That's Joshua.
Joshua Church.
Oh, hey, Josh.
Josh. All right.
Hey,
what's
Josh.
up, fellas?
Well, how did
Hey,
you
Brian,
get
What's
on?
up, man?
Hey,
Did
So,
it just work for you,
I
Josh?
Called, well, I called. I've been on the phone with you for like 4 or 5 minutes, and I just kept hitting the phone. And I could hear you guys talking. I could hear Warren, Brian, and you guy the whole time, but y'all have not been able to hear me until just now.
Well,
right.
basically, I mean, you can't see the screen that I have for Xeno Live, but basically, I've got a small box here that says listeners requesting call in, and you
Right.
just now popped up. So,
Yeah,
Okay,
they had
and
to be on this.
There's a pretty big delay between the phone conversation we're having and what I'm seeing on my screen.
well,
Yeah, that's
not a
about 1 minute,
surprise.
basically. That's Facebook. That's Facebook. That's Facebook.
Facebook normal. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, it-
cool. So,
basically,
yeah, it worked.
Periscope-
If you're listening
Periscope's
to
way
us
better,
via
basically.
Xeno Live, go ahead and mute your Facebook Live one, because otherwise
Okay.
the delay is going to make you crazy.
Makes me
Yes.
crazy.
Okay, cool.
And
So I just,
we actually have a third person trying to call. It looks like they're all flooding in now.
All right.
Brian, do
Right.
you have anything else to say about the
No, yeah,
tax
let's
No,
keep
thing?
I didn't get
Let's
to
see what's
finish
on
my
it.
thought. Basically, I'm saying ultimately that the thing is, if Apple did pay extra money, or let's say Starbucks in the UK and everything else, they would fire the board basically. If you were like
Yeah, they
shareholders,
would.
that's their money. You know,
Yes.
I mean, it's not like it's a charity case here.
No,
This is the
it's a
thing.
for-profit company, and as I
Yes.
was saying, one of Tim Cook's jobs is to provide as much value as possible to the shareholders.
And
Right.
as I said, it's a question between legality and how ethical
Right.
you think it is. And, giving money to governments is not on the top of their list. And
No, it is not. Hey,
that is
Brian,
fine.
I'm going to let you go, and I'm going to bring in another person. Thanks for calling
Okay.
in, dude.
Okay.
All right.
And let's see if I do this right. Okay, area code 850.
Who are you?
Sign in, please. Hello.
Hello, you're live with Guy and Warren.
Okay. Well, Josh, you still there? Did we lose Josh?
Guy, what'd you do?
I don't know. They're both showing up.
It was like a party until you hit a button.
Well, see, this is why the service is probably free.
Yes.
So,
there you go.
But
Cletus.
this is what I have wanted to do ever since I started podcasting, was to be able to take
phone
people's
operator?
calls. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's another service that does it called, I think it's Blog Talk Radio or Blog Talk Live, something like that. But it's like really expensive, and there's actually, I mean, you can use certain services like call conference services and things like that. But then it starts getting really complicated. There's a number to call in, and then there's like another whole long digit number that you got to dial in, and it just really, all I wanted was something that people could call in. I could pick up, talk to them, and that would be it, without it being super complicated. And the Xeno Live software, if it ever works like it's supposed to, is kind of what I wanted. I guess
Maybe
we lost Josh. Josh, are you there?
He hung up. He said he had to hang up.
Oh, okay. Well, then let me go ahead and.
There's a Marcus's area code. Do you see a 612 in there?
Whoops. No, I don't want to block. How do I? See, now it's not letting me hang up on him.
I know that feeling.
That is so stupid. No, it's not letting me hang up on either one of them.
I don't know. I can't see what you see.
I know. I'm sorry.
I see nothing. It's like a telethon for geeks, Frank says.
It's just it's frustrating.
Yeah. You may need to practice that more.
Well, either that or get a better service than this. Yeah, because the other night when I had Brian and my niece on, it worked like a charm. It was great. Not a problem at all.
Right.
Anyway,
leave it going. It was exciting for 5 minutes.
Yeah, it really was.
It was like things were happening. It was like war games after the bombs went off, and like they thought the bombs went off, and like, "Are you still there?" And they're like, "Yeah, we're still here." I'm like, they're still alive. That's what it was like. People were coming in.
Do you think people today would even know what movie it is you're talking about?
If they're old like me and you.
It's a movie with Matthew Broderick, and I can't remember who the female lead was.
Jeez, what was her name? She wasn't in anything else after that, was she?
Oh yeah, she was in other stuff.
Was that Ali Sheedy?
Could be Ali Sheedy.
I don't know. I can
Why
Google it.
can't I hang up on these? It's weird. It wasn't working that well. I'm gonna try something here. I'm gonna reload.
It wasn't Miley. It wasn't Miley Cyrus, according
No,
to
it
Marcus.
was
Here, War
not
Games
Miley
was with
Cyrus.
War Games with Coke or something. War Games movie. War Games.
Okay, I'm back on the air. I basically had to reset the whole channel.
It was Ali Sheedy. I was right.
Okay,
Score!
so let's see.
Ali
Who is
Sheedy.
this? We have an anonymous that's trying to call in, but I don't have. Oh, for the love of God. Anonymous, I am so sorry, but it's not letting me bring you in.
All right. Well, while Guy does that,
You can take that last story? Or you got
we could
something
talk
else?
about the last one. No, sure, we could talk about that. And I read the same article, but the article it's saying Walmart decided not to use Apple Pay when Apple Pay first came out, like a few other stores, um, and they say they're catching up on Apple Pay, which doesn't make any sense because
There we go.
I can't imagine anybody using Walmart Pay or whatever they use.
Anonymous,
So
you there?
hello. Nobody's there. There's a few stores out there now that still won't do Apple Pay, and they have their own one. And the one that drives me crazy, I don't know if anybody else has it. Yeah, Frank, give it another shot. CVS. Do you have CVS's by you?
Oh, yeah.
So CVS has their own app called CVS Pay. And it's like a thing that links your rewards card and blah, blah, blah. And it barely works. And they don't take Apple Pay. And my local CVS, their Wi-Fi is terrible. So it's become the running joke whenever I come in there. I make fun of their CVS
I missed. What is it that they take instead of Apple Pay? Anything?
CVS Pay. It's an app. So
and
basically,
not secure. Not like Apple Pay is secure.
No, it does use Touch ID or Face ID now when you make the purchase. So it's doing something and you tie your credit card to it. But it's horrible. So that one has its own thing. Dunkin' Donuts has its own app too, but I think you can use. No, you can't. Dunkin' Donuts, you have to use their app, but their app kind of works a little bit more. So yeah, it's a mess. I mean, there's, the reason why they're doing it is they don't want to pay Apple the point whatever percentage of every transaction.
There's actually a little bit more to it. The other thing that they want, besides the money, of course, and not to pay the credit card fee, they also want the information. They want the data. And if someone pays them via Apple Pay, they don't get that data. Apple hangs on. Apple doesn't share the data, and that's something that all the credit card companies do every single time you make a transaction with your credit card. They're sharing that information not only with that company but other companies that also use that credit card. Not so much your credit scores and all the rest of that, but to say, okay, well, this person just bought a pair of boots at Macy's or wherever, and now they've gone off to some other place. So
that, and so I guess the data and the money aspect. But it's a pain. I mean,
currency is dead.
That's current CVS was one of the ones I was kind of looking to current. CVS and Walgreens and I think a few others were joining together for the currency app. I downloaded it when it first came out and it was horrible. And I mean, if you think about a consortium, at least it made more sense than all these individual stores trying to do their own app and figure it out. It made more sense for another company to come in and do it, but maybe it died because it didn't become any cheaper than, Apple Pay or whatever reason. But yeah, it's a pain. and whenever I go to a store and I try to use Apple Pay and it doesn't work, I look at them like they have three heads. I'm
Yeah,
like,
there's no point. And
Yeah.
even if you don't want to use Apple Pay, and not so much us, but to all these companies, there are other options that are more open than just like Dunkin' Donuts Pay and Walmart Pay and all the rest of that. Samsung has a pay app. Google has a pay app, and these are solutions that work in multiple stores, not just one store. And I'm not at all interested in signing up for 10,000 little pay apps. I'm not going to do it. I don't care how big you are, how often I shop at Walmart. I'm not going to sign up for Walmart Pay or Target Pay or any of these other companies that have had data breaches within the last couple of years, because they don't give a crap about their customers as far as their data goes. They're willing to share that data with anybody. You think Google is bad? They got nothing on Walmart.
Yeah, I mean, it comes down to convenience over if you're really worried about it. I mean, I use the CVS Pay because I'm always at CVS.
Yeah.
I'm always picking
Hey,
up
Frank,
medicine
hit
personally.
5 and hit 5 a couple times and see if that brings it in.
Just hit 5 until the phone explodes.
Yeah, I don't know why it's taking so long.
No.
Well, this didn't quite work out the way I thought it was, or the way I was hoping it was going to. And I don't know if it's a problem with the service. I don't think it's on my end, because everything seems to be working the way it's supposed to once I, swapped off the frame rate. Anyway, it is almost 9 o'clock, so I think it's time to give it a rest for the evening.
It's
I'd like to thank everyone who volunteered their time and hit those digits to try to make it work over there in Xeno Live. We will try this again, and hopefully it'll get better. I will continue to look into other solutions that will do this. If anyone knows a relatively low cost way for me to do this, that's not going to bankrupt me, I appreciate that. Let me know in all the various usual ways. Warren, how can people get a hold of you?
Oh, just find me here on Facebook.
Is that the best way? Over here in Mac to the Future page?
Yes, just type my name and I'll be right there. Always. What about you, Guy? How can people get a hold of you, Guy?
So many different ways. They can reach me over on Twitter, Mac Parrot. They can contact me, Guy at mttfgo.com or Guy at mymac.com, either way. We have a Skype number you can leave a message on. That's 703-436-9501, 703-436-9501. And if there's some topic that you'd like us to talk about, let us know. We would love to get your opinion. So you can leave feedback on the show over on Mac to the Future. You can leave feedback over on YouTube. If you look up Mac to the Future, you'll find all the videos there. And yeah, I think that's going to do it. So Warren, thanks again for coming on tonight.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
It was nice to be had.
What else am I going to do on a Wednesday night? So
well, just talk to me. It's so easy. All right, everybody. Thanks so very, very much for coming on. And we'll try this again hopefully next week. So good night.
I'm just going to call Guy all day tomorrow and see how it goes. All right.
Yeah, so that's what it sounds like. Isn't that
Sounds
exciting?
good. Feels good. Mac Parrot, what?
Yeah, and if you
So-
you move your hand toward the camera, it's like all 3D and shit.